Alright, g'day everyone. So in this tutorial we're going to learn how to add a shooting function to our game and to make things, well obviously shoot things to get rid of enemies and things like that. So I'm not going to make an actual game with this, I'm just going to show you the function and how it works. So let's start by adding a few sprites. Let's find a player. So then I'm just going to go to NPC guy. And I'm going to call this SPR underscore player. We need another sprite. This time it's for the bullet. So there should be, not the bow, bullet. Now you've got different bullets here. Now we're going to make a bullet that just shoots to the right, because we're going to have our player on the left hand side of the screen and shooting towards the right hand side of the screen. So I'm just going to put the bullet right in. So SPR underscore bullet. And let's do another one for an enemy that we're going to get rid of. I think there's like a skeleton or something. Statue angry, there we go. Yeah, nice big red one there. Alright. SPR underscore enemy. Now let's turn those three sprites into three objects. Let's get the player. Go OK. Oh, sorry, I forgot to rename it. OBJ underscore player. Blue ball. Let's choose the bullet. And it is OBJ underscore bullet. Last one, enemy, OBJ underscore enemy. And let's make a room very quickly. So create a room, 32 and 32. Let me make this nice and full so we can see. I'm just going to put a bunch of enemies in. For a bit of target practice. Cool. Let's put the player on the left hand side here. And that's it. So we don't have to put the sprite in. We don't have to put the object in. We're going to make the object. So there, that's a game. We're going to shoot all those enemies there. So green tick, and let's save this game. File, save as, and I'm going to save it as shooting tutorial. Obviously, you'll save it in your student drive, but this is just where I'm saving mine. Let's get this moving. Okay, so object player, we're going to add event, and the keyboard, we're just going to go up and move up at a speed of 5. Once again, I'm not making a game as such, I'm just showing you the function, how it works. And down, go down at a speed of 5. So by showing you how the function works, then you can adapt that to your own games. Up and down like that. Okay, add event. Now, most people use the space bar to shoot, so we're going to use that. Add event, keyboard space. Now, in the main one, what we do is we're going to create an instance. So this means that we're going to create another object. Now the object that we're going to create is the bullet. And we want X and Y to be 0. And I'll tick on relative there. Now if I go into the sprite, I'll show you what I mean. So if I go into the player, we've got a sprite that's 32 by 32. I'm just going to edit it. I don't know if 32 by 32. And you can see down the bottom here, let me show you down the bottom right here, you've got coordinates. Now, right in the middle will be 0, 0. So we're making that bullet in the middle of the sprite. So let me just show you again. We've got spacebar creates an instance of the object. Now, what we'll do, I made sure I ticked relative. Yep, so it's going to be in the middle. Let's go into the bullet. So as soon as the bullet is created, so we're going to go create. Let's make it speed. So we're going to go right at a speed of 12. So there's the bullet moving to the right. So let me just test that out in this game. It's important not to take too many steps just to make sure everything's working. I just want to move up and down and spacebar shoots. Yep, cool. Excellent. Okay, now let's go into our enemy object. So double click on the enemy, add event, collision with the bullet. Now you can do this either way. You can do when the bullet collides with the enemy or when the enemy collides with the bullet. Doesn't matter. I'm just going to do it in here. What we want to do, let's do a couple of things. So we will go to main one and we're going to destroy the instance of the enemy. Then we also want to destroy the instance of the bullet, just to make sure that it doesn't keep on going through. Let's go to the score, and we're going to add 1 point. Make sure we tick relative to the high score. That's it. Nothing else that we need. Cool. Excellent. Now, obviously, you can probably see a bit of an issue, that I can just hold this down and we get rid of everyone. Let's try and fix that. Okay, so I'm just going to save this because our game is working so far. So file, save as, we'll just save it as the shooting tutorial. Yep, I want to, okay. Let's go into the player. Now, its spacebar is creating an instance of that object. Now, we're going to go add event and create. Now, in this control section here, what we're going to do is we're going to set a variable, and the variable is going to be either 1 or 0. Now, I do want to thank Oscar in the class that helped me showed me this. He found a way around it, so well done, Oscar. Really good work. We're going to set a variable in create. So set a variable, and we're going to go shots fired, and the value is 1. So remember that name, shots fired, and the variable is 1. So we're going to check the variable, okay? So we're going to go into the space. Now see this one here that says test variable. Drag that in at the very top. We want shots fired if the value is equal to 1. So this is kind of like an if statement. So if shots fired is equal to 1, now I'm just going to drag this block in here so that way you can see this. We're going to create an instance of the object. Excellent. We're going to put down, so the shots fired, the variable is shots fired. We're going to set the value to 0. So as soon as we press the space bar, if it equals 1, we're going to set the variable back to 0. So 0 means off, 1 means we're good to go. And then in that block as well, we're going to set an alarm. So we're going to go alarm in here. 30 steps is 1 second in alarm number 0. Now let's go back to control and we'll finish off that block. So this is kind of like, this is your if statement. So if shots fired is equal to 1, we're going to say, okay, well, we can shoot because it equals 1. We're going to create an instance of the bullet, set shots fired to 0, and then we're going to make an alarm for 1 second. I reckon you can have a guess what we're going to do in alarm 0. What we're going to do is we're going to go shots fired, and we're going to set that back to 1. So you can see set variable there, value equals 1. All right, and that's it. Now this will hopefully mean that we can shoot 1 bullet every second, and that's it. Here we go. There's 1. Cool. Now, obviously you can't tell, but I'm holding my spacebar down, and I'm only getting 1 bullet. Now let me try and tap it really quickly. Yep. Excellent. So that is working. Let me get out of that. All right. File, save as, because there's us done. That's how you shoot. Now, I could make this into a game if you wanted to. Some ideas in the room is you could have the enemies move towards you, and you have to shoot them before they touch you or something like that, or before they get to the end of the room. That could be cool. You could have them randomly spawning, or just use it in one of the games that we have before, except this time you can now get rid of enemies. It's up to you. But this is just a tutorial on how to shoot and how to put a timer in for the shooting. Now, obviously, if you want to make... Sorry, if I go to the player, if you want to make the shooting quicker, then obviously you'll go to set alarm 0 being 15. So this means half a second. So let me show you that. That means it'll shoot every half a second, because 1 second between shots is pretty slow. So let's see it a little bit quicker. Yep, cool. Now another thing I thought of that would be really cool is if you had like ammunition and it actually counted how many times that you had shot. Actually, let's do that. Let's count how many times that you have shot. So let's go to the player. So create is we've set the variable shots fired to 1. Let's also set another variable. So let's create a variable for bullets, and let's make it 50. So all we need to do is in the space bar here, we set shots fired to 0, but then we're going to also set bullets to -1. And we make sure that we tick relative, so that way it counts down. Excellent. Now, let's try and get that up in the very top. Well, let me just make sure this is working. So we've set the variable, we've set the bullets to -1. Now what I'll do is I'll actually display a message directly after that, and we'll say I'm pretty sure this is how it works. Let's test it out. I'm hoping that that variable will actually let me by putting that in there, the message will show me how many bullets I've used. No. No, it does not. Oh. What about draw variable? What does that do? Ah, there we go. What I might do, let me just... Alright, let me do this another way. Sorry, I'm making this up as I go. I'm going to add another object called the controller. And we don't want a sprite. Now, in this event is where we're going to set our bullets. So we're going to go create, and we're going to go to our variable, and we're going to set bullets being 50. Now, with that done, we can get rid of us setting the variable bullets there to 50. You can just delete that. Because if you make other rooms, it's going to be a bit of an issue because when that game is started, you're going to keep on adding 50 or give yourself 50 every time. In this controller now, what I'll do is I'll go add event draw, and we'll draw the variable, which is bullets being 0 and 0. Done. Now then when I go to the room, I'm just going to put that controller in there, and I hope that this works. $50, haha. Alright, error in action number 5 for keyboard event. Error encoded line bullets plus. Okay, what's... I think that's doing that because I've set the variable in the controller. What about if I go into the controller? So instead of it applies to me, it applies to the object controller. Let me see how that goes. Because that'd be cool if that happened. Come on. Oh, there we go. 48. And you can see it counting down the bullets there. Awesome. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Now, obviously, there's another bit of an issue as well. So what I'll do is I'll go to the controller, and this is too much. Let's make it. Now, the issue is, what happens if we don't have bullets? We obviously don't want them to shoot. So when we press spacebar, then we're going to have to check to make sure that there's bullets there. So we're going to have to do another variable. So we're going to have to test the variable at the very start. So if bullets, and we want to check it in the object controller, if bullets is larger than 0, then we want this and that. Else, so if our bullets is larger than 0, then it's going to check to see if that shots fired is equal to 1, and then it's going to go through the shooting mechanism. Else. Now, else means that if it's not larger than 0, it has to be either 0 or negative 0. So what we're going to have to do is then not shoot. Now, I'm pretty sure we can just leave that blank. Let me just get rid of my bullets very quickly. 3, 2, 1. Last bullet. Now let's test. Haha, can't shoot. Never been so happy not to shoot in my life. Alright, cool. Object player there. So we're all good. Obviously, there's one more thing that we need to do, and actually, we need to be able to get some bullets. Now, that's going to be pretty easy. All we need is a sprite for like a treasure chest or something something that will give us bullets. There we go. Chest close. Or could we even get a gun? Yeah, if I get a gun, that'll make it easier, because then you'll know that that's the bullets. SPR underscore gun. Let's turn that into an object. Oh, whoops, too many objects. So obj underscore gun. Let me delete that. Cool. And then when the player at event collides with the gun, what we're going to do is let's give ourselves, I don't know, 10 bullets. We're going to go set variable of the object controller. So we're going to go into the object controller, variable bullets equals 10, and we're going to tick relative. Excellent. While I'm here, I'm also going to add no key, because it's annoying having to, you know what I mean, not keep on going up and down in the same spot. Now back in the gun, set the variable of the bullets to being 10, and we've ticked relative as well, so whatever it is, we might have 5 bullets left, we should go up to 15. And then we want to destroy the instance of the gun, so that way we can't collect it more than, I don't know, 1,000,000 times. Going into the room, I'll just put the gun there, and this will be the last thing that we do. Unless I get any good ideas in the next, I don't know, 20 seconds. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, and we're up to 20. Awesome. Cool. There we go. We're done. Save this game. Alright. And I'm just going to create the executable shooting tutorial here. You don't have to do this. This is just so that way you can click on it and it plays instantly. But anyway, that's how we shoot. So we've added a few extra things. We've obviously added the timer, which is set with alarm 0. And then we've also added a bullet function to count how many bullets we've got, so we don't shoot to infinity. Alright. Anyway, well done for following this tutorial. Adapt this, make it your own, and add it to your own game. Have a bit of fun with it. But thanks very much, everyone. We'll talk to you later. Cheers.